All right, let's go to escrow.
Oh, I love escrow.
All right, tell me about escrow.
So the escrow company holds the escrow money intact. And so they hold it, and then they will take any fees out of it if for any reason the property does not close. They can choose to take fees out of it. So one thing that you need to know is that any expense incurred by the title company could possibly be deducted from the earnest money before it's refunded.
So does it cost money to open title?
No, just your escrow.
Correct. Unless your title company does not cover the specific county that you're in which case they normally have to partner with another county, another title company, and pay that company a fee to have access to the record for the title.
Another reason to know who you're in business with.
Exactly.
Another reason.
Not all title companies cover all areas. So
for instance, if the buyer defaults or the seller defaults, and there's already been a survey that has been done by the title company, does the title company has the right to deduct that survey or any other expenses out of that earnest money before they refund it?
yes.
Absolutely. So you want to make sure that your client fully understands that. And the one thing that is usually not read by agents is the demand, and it is my favorite part of the contract.
So tell me about the demand.
All right, so upon termination of this contract, either party or the escrow agent may send a release of earnest money to each party, and the party shall execute counterparts of the release and deliver same to escrow agent. If either party fails to execute the release, either party may make a written demand to the escrow agent for the earnest money. So, buyer defaults, seller thinks they should get the earnest money, listing agent thinks they should get the earnest money. Listing agent says, well, you're going to get it because it default.
Never say
that.
Do not ever promise anyone.
Never. So what the seller can do is make demand for the title company to demand the buyer to get release of the money to them. If the buyer does not reply, the buyer thinks, well, I'm just not going to give it to them. I'm not going to sign. I'm not even going to reply. Well, then that's deemed delivered, and the seller is going to get it. So again, know who you are in business with and know what the policies are.
Once that demand is given, they have a certain amount of days to respond.
Yes.
Just saying, my experience has been that in that 15 days that they have to respond, they usually respond on the 14th or 15th day, and then your client has 15 days to respond.
That's right. And
it's not a quick process.
And on.
In which this clouds the title and prevents you from being able to just move on to the next buyer to close that property. Now, you may say, well, I could just go to a different title company. Yes, you could. You run the risk, though, of having two people who have the rights to purchase that property. And that's a whole situation that you don't want to get involved in, and we don't want you to get involved in.
So we've actually have that going on right now.
Yeah.
Where we have an agent that the buyer terminated, and they felt like they should get the earnest money back because they couldn't reach an agreement on the repairs that were completed, and they terminated, and so the listing agent put the property back on the market.
We were representing the buyer.
We had the buyer. Listing agent put the property back on the market and decided to take the new contract to a different title company. It was not really hard to find out who the new title company was. And so once we did that, then the previous title company notified the new title company that there was disputed earnest money, and now that buyer cannot close with that second title company. The seller and the buyer cannot close because there's a cloud on the title.
But wait a second, Kim. I thought that we had to close by the date on the contract. How does that work?
So anytime that there is earnest money that is disputed, it literally stops the clock, and everything just sits there until the dispute is a resolution is made.
Y'all, I've seen this take 3 to 6 months before. And if there's no resolution on that earnest money, the money will actually go to the county courthouse and be stuck at the county courthouse until something comes up. So you have all that time
That's
in
right.
which the property cannot actually close. So it's best to come to some sort of a resolution on this. And the form that you use for that, the release of earnest money, it's actually not promulgated by the Real
It
Estate
is
Commission.
not?
It's a form that was created by the Texas Realtors and their legal team, and it doesn't. That's not even a form that you have that your buyers or sellers have to use. They could simply send a letter to the title company demanding the release of earnest money to themselves, the party of whether it's the buyer or the seller, and that's what starts that 15-day time period. Yeah.
So do not think you can sneak your contract to another title company and
No.
close. It leaves the title open, and there are case studies. There's two out of San Antonio where the previous buyer went back and got the property.
Mm-hmm.
And then the seller was not only lost to the first buyer, but lost to the second buyer.
Yeah.
And so they were out a whole lot of money.
Correct.